Welcome to my channel. Today I am discussing about the chemical bonding. First of all, what is chemical bond? The definition of chemical bond is the attractive force which holds various constituents like atoms, ions, which together in different chemical species is called as the chemical bond. Means अगर हम देखेंगे तो chemical bond क्यों बनता है? Just because of the chemical constituent ऐसा एक ऐसा अट्रैक्टिव फोर्स होता है जो एटम्स, मॉलिक्यूल्स और आयंस को कंबाइन करने की कैपेसिटी रखता है. इज कॉल्ड एज द केमिकल बॉन्ड. सो द फर्स्ट रूल ऑफ chemical bonding is the octet rule, which was developed by Cossels and Lewis in 1916. Okay, this is also known as electronic theory of chemical bonding. So the definition of octet rule is the atoms can combine either by transfer of, we can write here, the atoms can combine either by transfer of valence electrons from one another by gaining or losing or by sharing of valence electrons in order to have an octet in their valence shells. It's called as the octet rule. ठीक है, इसको हम octet rule बोलेंगे. Means the atom can combine or transfer of valence electron from one another by gaining or losing of electrons or by sharing of valence electron in order to have octet. Means octet complete करने के लिए atoms के इलेक्ट्रॉन क्या करेंगे? एक तो खुद के वैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसफ़र करेंगे या फिर गेन करेंगे या फिर शेयर करेंगे ऑफ देयर वैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन to complete their octet. Is called as the octet rule. So the first example is, we take the first example of Cl2 molecule. Okay, the chlorine has valence electron 7. Means chlorine each chlorine has 7 electron in their valence shell. Okay, so there is 7 electron and another chlorine is also having 7 electron in their valence shell. So the Cl2 molecule we can write here in terms of, to complete the octet, it has a 7 electrons, 1 2 3 4 5 6 और ये है 7. The 7 electron of this chlorine first and this 7 electron for second chlorine. This is the first chlorine and this is second chlorine. Now here how they combine, how they complete their octet, let's see. First of all, this first chlorine will give this electron to second chlorine and second chlorine is also sharing this electron to first chlorine. Means the octet is becoming like this. Here 1 electron from first chlorine, second electron from this chlorine. ये हो गया 8 electrons, means the octet of chlorine molecule. Here there is also 8 electron, here is also 8 electron. So this 8 electron from this chlorine and this 1 electron from this chlorine. So this is the octet of chlorine molecule. Now the next example is water. Here H2O, in which we know that the hydrogen has how much electron? It has only 1 electron and oxygen has 6 valence electron in their valence shell. So hydrogen is only tries to complete their duplet because हाइड्रोजन के पास कैपेसिटी नहीं है ऑक्टेट कंप्लीट करने की, क्योंकि हाइड्रोजन हैव ओनली 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन, सो इट विल ओनली कंप्लीट देयर डुप्लेट. So and the oxygen has 6 valence electron in their outermost shells, so it will tries to complete their octet. How they complete, let's see. Here we can write here hydrogen, oxygen, hydrogen. Here we can write hydrogen, oxygen and hydrogen. So the one hydrogen has 1 electron, the hydrogen has this one electron, hydrogen 1, hydrogen 2. इसका एक इलेक्ट्रॉन, इसका एक इलेक्ट्रॉन, एंड ऑक्सीजन हैज़ हाउ मेनी इलेक्ट्रॉन? 6 electron, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 electron of oxygen, and this the octet becomes like this HOH means कितने हो गए हाइड्रोजन सेकेंड का एक इलेक्ट्रॉन, मतलब ये बॉन्ड ऐसे बनेगा. वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड दैट ओनली वन सिंगल बॉन्ड हैज़ 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन, दैट इज़ 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन एंड दिस इज 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन. अगर डबल बॉन्ड होगा तो इसमें 4 इलेक्ट्रॉन हो गए. ठीक है, तो ये कितना होगा 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. तो ये होगा 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन ऑफ दिस ऑक्सीजन and duplets of complete the duplets of hydrogen, 2 electron of hydrogen. This is happening by the sharing of the oxygen and hydrogen, oxygen and hydrogen. So it complete duplet of hydrogen and octet for oxygen. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 octet of oxygen and duplet for hydrogen, duplet for hydrogen. So the next example is CCl4 means carbon tetra chloride. In this we know the carbon has 4 valency. Okay, means the capacity of combining means to hold the atom is 4. This is the 4 valence electron, this is the carbon. Okay, and each bond has 2 electron like this. Okay, now what happened, the chlorine, we can write the structure like chlorine 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 is like 1 2 3 4 chlorines means the carbon tetra chloride. Here what happened, here the carbon, first of all we write the carbon. Okay, now here is a chlorine atom, here is also chlorine, chlorine and chlorine. The carbon has 4 bond. Okay, so here 1 electron of carbon, 1 electron of carbon, 1 electron of carbon, 1 electron of carbon. The carbon form the bond with chlorine by sharing of electrons. Okay, so 1 electron from here, the chlorine gives 1 electron and this chlorine gives 1 electron and this chlorine gives 1 electron. This is chlorine 1 2 3 4. We know that the chlorine has how many valence electron, that is 7 valence electrons. So that means the 7 electron are present in their outermost shells. Okay, now 1 2 3 4 5 6 and this is 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 7 electron. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Here now how they become the octet, let's see. Here the chlorine have completed 8 electrons, so it becomes the octet. Also here also the chlorine forms 8 electron by sharing with carbon, so octet will complete. This chlorine first also complete their octet, chlorine number 4 is also complete their octet, and this carbon which has a 4 bond, 1 bond, 2 bond, 3 bond, 4 bond, this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, the carbon is also completing their octet, and this is the octet rule for the carbon tetra chloride, which has 8 electron in their shells. Okay, we can write here 8 electrons, 8 electrons, 8 electrons, 8 electrons. So this was the octet rule for the carbon tetra chloride. So here from this example we understand that when two atoms sharing 1 electron pair, they are said to be joined by single bond. Okay, 2 atoms shares 1 electron pair, they are said to be joined by single covalent bond. Means what, दो एटम अगर 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन शेयर करते हैं इलेक्ट्रॉन पेयर, उसको क्या बोलेंगे हम, कोवैलेंट बॉन्ड. द डेफिनेशन ऑफ कोवैलेंट बॉन्ड इज also is that the sharing of electrons, it is the covalent bond. And now we if 2 atoms shares two electron pairs, the covalent bond between them is called as the double bond. Okay, and let's see the next example for multiple bond, or we can see the double bond. Example is CO2. We can write the CO2 like oxygen, the oxygen is middle, the carbon and carbon, sorry, the 2 oxygen in between them, the carbon is present here. And we know that for double bond 1 2 3 4 there are 4 electrons, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Here we can write the octet in the octet form like this. The oxygen, we know the oxygen has how many valence electron? That is 6 valence electron. 6 valence electron, and the carbon has 4 valence electron. Now, so we can write the octet rule like this. The carbon in the, here is the oxygen, here is also oxygen. Now the carbon has 4 electron of their own, and the oxygen has 6 electron. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. But here for forming a bond, that is double bond, so how many electron we require? 1 2 3 4, 4 electron we require. So the oxygen can give here the 2 electrons from their valence shell, and this one, this oxygen number 2 is also giving the 2 electrons to complete their octet. So the bonding will like this. The here the oxygen which has oxygen first 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, here the octet of oxygen first will complete, which has 8 electron, and the carbon is also completing their octet 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 by sharing and transfer of electron. Here is also the octet is complete, and for this oxygen second also 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 octet is complete for oxygen number 2. So the octet of CO2 molecule is will like this. Why? Because of the multiple bond like double bond. So the 4 electron are used for making this double bond from in which the oxygen is giving 2 electron, and this oxygen also giving 2 electrons to form a double bond. If you know that, we can write here like oxygen 1 2 3 4 means the double bond, oxygen carbon 1 2 3 4 means the double bond, and oxygen, and the lone pair of electron is present, means means the 6 electron of the oxygen, 4 electron from this carbon, and 6 electron from these oxygens, and after the sharing it becomes 8 electrons and 8 electrons. So this was the octet rule. So thank you very much. If you like my video, please like and subscribe.